Okay, I have a bone to pick with Walmart.
I was almost ripped off at Walmart.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is why you don't buy shit from Walmart.
They're ripping people, straight ripping people off.
So today we are going to look at some of the real reasons why grocery prices are so high, beyond what we see all the time in the news. Walmart has faced criminal charges, major federal investigations, and hundreds of millions of dollars in fines and settlements. What you're about to see is just a part of their rap sheet, and I think you will agree it is nothing short of infuriating.
Markets are supposed to drive prices down through competition. But what if the biggest player found a way to neutralize the competition without actually lowering their own prices?
In the video, they go on to interview some independent grocers who say that they would lose money on almost every item if they tried to price match with Walmart. Now, of course, Walmart has lower costs than their smaller competitors, but should they really be able to price items lower than their competitors' cost?
Independent grocers like RF have been trying to figure out why this is happening for years. Well, the answer is in these two documents that were recently unsealed after the government tried to bury them.
The evidence that's in there is explosive.
Pepsi monitored the retail sales of all of Walmart's competitors across the United States.
They wanted to make sure that Walmart had the lowest prices, and then they actually found that Food Lion had lower prices than Walmart. So instead of Walmart lowering their prices, Pepsi raised their prices to Food Lion. So it appears Walmart has this agreement with one of their suppliers, Pepsi. Who's to say they don't have this agreement with many more of their suppliers? I'm just asking the questions here. If they do have this agreement with a lot of their other suppliers, which I think is plausible, then that's a really good indication of why food prices are so high. In the video at some point, they call it the Walmart tax, which, as they explain it, raises prices across the country, across the US and Canada for all of Walmart's competitors. Of course, meaning that we all pay more at the grocery store. So I'm showing tons of different examples, lots of different clips in this video. If you have seen one, you can just skip to the next one. You can see down below in the chapters where they all start.
How does Walmart know what I'm buying in cash? I got an email from them this afternoon that says, hey, can you rate this product that you purchased recently? And I did purchase that product recently from Walmart. I bought it in cash. You've already started typing. It's the Walmart app on your phone, you moron. I did not have my phone with me on this trip. I don't think I even had my headphones on my person. I didn't have any electronic devices on me. So how does Walmart know what I purchased in cash?
Yeah, it really seems like they're using facial recognition so that they know which customers are in the store so they can track our purchases, which just helps them do their personalized pricing, right? So they can make sure that they are extracting as much money from us as possible, that they are charging the maximum that we are willing to pay for any one item. And speaking about dynamic or personalized pricing,
so Walmart has a tracker for everything you put in the cart.
So that was hard to hear, but Walmart has these trackers in their carts now, so they know what everybody is putting in the cart, and so they know who is operating the cart. You know, because they don't want to rely on their facial recognition software all the time. And how do they know who the customer is based on that contraption underneath the cart? Well, our phones. And of course, Walmart has a vested interest in knowing who the shopper is pushing the cart because they want to charge us as much as they possibly can for every item, the personalized pricing. So let's run through just some of the criminal and regulatory charges that I don't have video clips for. First one up, back in 2013, Walmart pleaded guilty to 6 misdemeanor counts of negligently violating the Clean Water Act and related federal environmental laws. The outcome was that they pleaded guilty and paid over $81 million in criminal fines, plus funds for community projects and compliance assistance. In 2019, the SEC charged Walmart with violations of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act related to bribery risks in foreign markets. The U.S. Department of Justice brought parallel criminal charges. So the outcome was that Walmart entered into an NPA, which is a non-prosecution agreement. The company agreed to pay about $282 million. So many of you may have seen this clip from Jimmy Rig on TikTok showing that Walmart rigged the meat weights to appear like they weighed twice or 2.5 times as much as they actually do. So of course, customers are paying at least twice as much as they actually should. And this wasn't just a one-off in one store. I'll get to that momentarily, but as you can see, he also found they're not just doing this for meat. It wasn't just one brand that was causing this issue. They're also doing this with chicken.
Walmart That don't weigh no 4.66 pounds. We'll use the scale. 2.37 pounds. They're ripping people, straight ripping people off. I'm going through every single one of these. F***ing scammer.
And so he weighs a bunch more, and surprise, surprise, they all weigh about half of what they are advertised for, so customers are paying twice as much as they should. And good for Jimmy for finding this out. How many customers put their trust in Walmart, the place that they went to buy what they need to survive, which is food? Most people just believe what's on the label and go pay for that. They wouldn't think that a corporation, and I'm going to talk about how much this company, Walmart, is worth in a minute, because it's astounding. And we know what a huge company it is, so why would they need to do something like this? People aren't expecting that they're going to be so devious. Now, I'm going to get more into this in a moment as well, because this whole meat weighing thing dates back far long before Jimmy actually caught them in the act here. But I just wanted to show this one real quick, because lying about the weights isn't the only thing that they are doing.
So many of you in my meat videos have commented how much water they put in the chicken, how much water is added to the weight that we're paying for. Check this out, man. This is supposedly Walmart's brand, right? Look at this. Look at the water that is in here. I mean, literally, look at that. Look at this one. Look at this one right here. Look at this.
Unbelievable. So not only are they apparently lying about how much the meat weighs, but they're also pumping their own brand of chicken full of water. Now, they did make a statement about, because, I mean, there was a big article about Jimmy Rigg, and his video was catching them pretty much red-handed, and Walmart took no blame. They put all of the blame onto Kentucky Legend, but that was just the ham. But Walmart had nothing to say, no comment. They completely ignored the fact that they're way over on the weights of all of the chicken as well. They have settled millions and millions of dollars worth of class action lawsuits that I will talk to momentarily about meat weights. But since they put that blame on Kentucky Legend, saying it was their fault that the meats were way over, like in some cases 2.5 times lighter than what they were advertising them for, what they were charging customers for, Kentucky Legend had to come out with a statement, and they said it was a one-off, which is really easy to say, but very hard for me to believe. So let's look back about a year ago, and we will see the exact same thing happening at Walmart.
Viral when a Walmart shopper exposed a potential overpricing scam. She bought chicken labeled as 4.78 pounds, but when she weighed it on the store's scale, it showed only 2.22 pounds, meaning she was being charged almost double the price. She tried another pack and got the same result.
4.9.
Now, the craziest thing is this happened while they were settling a class action lawsuit for this exact same thing. They agreed to a $45 million class action settlement to resolve allegations that it overcharged customers for weighted goods, including meat, poultry, pork, seafood, and bagged citrus between 2018 and 2024. So that clip that we just saw came out towards the tail end of that, or after the class action lawsuit was over. So Walmart clearly didn't stop what they were found guilty of doing previously. So I guess they are making just more money. I mean, if these allegations are true, if all of these video clips are pointing to them doing this on purpose, then I guess they're just making more money from this than they're having to shell out in lawsuits. I'm not seeing any fines, any lawsuits from any government body. They're just letting this go on, and it's up to us, it's up to consumers to point this out and take them to court over it. And as we all know, $45 million is a slap on the wrist to Walmart. This company is one of the top 20 companies in terms of market capitalization in the world. As of mid-February 2026, Walmart is worth more than $1 trillion. So yeah, $45 million lawsuit once in a while, peanuts. Some comments from some of you after a previous video. I know it's not just Walmart, but Walmart is among the top of my 2026 boycott list. Their pricing tactics are predatory. They've committed tax avoidance. Their CEO to worker pay ratio is about 930 to 1, and the median worker pay is a whopping $29,469. As a former Walmart employee myself, I can personally verify Walmart's unethical labor practices. Another comment, Walmart store managers make $170 $175,000 to $300,000 and more. And I did look into this to verify, and they get bonuses and stuff like that. So yeah, they can make $200,000-$300,000 or more depending on how much money they make for their individual store. Now, if they're doing a great job, I don't have a big problem with that. The problem I'm seeing here is just the disparity between the median salary and how much these managers are making. And I won't even get into the CEO to average or median worker ratio. That is just insane. But I mean, that's no different when we look at any of the other big corporations. A couple of more comments from some of you after a previous video I did because they were fantastic. I never shop at Walmart. Another one. Everything at Walmart is a dishonest scam. Even their moldy repackaged cigarettes, that's why they're cheaper than everyone else. And I agree that that's at least one reason why they seem to be cheaper than everybody else, because just about everything in Walmart stores is crap. Case in point.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is why you don't buy from Walmart. Yeah, only 3 days old, only the second time I've used it, and the lid shatters. Dinner's wasted. So it'll be interesting to see if they refund me tomorrow with all the ingredients in that amazing spaghetti sauce I make.
Of course, because he has to throw out the spaghetti sauce in case there's little pieces of glass shards in there or something. And what if there were little cracks kind of like on the inside or on the inside of the handle that he didn't notice, as pieces of glass getting into his food? Does Walmart care about that? Do they care about the quality? Probably not. They would rather make total crap because they make way more money making crap that endangers us than they have to pay out in lawsuits. Somebody figured out the math, and it just works out to sell us total crap that could be dangerous for us. A couple of more comments from some of you that are not fans of Walmart. Boycott Walmart now in all caps. And one more, those are not mistakes. It is fraud. And I tend to agree, right? I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire. And there is just a ton of smoke, fire, a ton of examples of them seemingly deceiving and breaking the law. So is it actually fraud? Well, let's check out this next clip, which isn't a big deal, but it certainly seems like false advertising to me. And you might notice that the box she's holding up, everything reads backwards. So across the top, it does say 25 pieces on the box she's about to show.
Okay, I have a bone to pick with Walmart. My daughter picked out these Valentines for her classmates a couple weeks ago. And as you can see in the big spot there, it says very obviously 25 on it, right? So one would assume that that means there are 25 Valentines in here, but you know, you have to read the fine print on everything apparently. It has 12 envelopes and 12 cards and then one sheet of stickers.
But how many people are buying that thinking there are 25 Valentines that their kids can give out in class? They're thinking, oh, well, there's about 25 kids in the class, so that's enough. And then they get home and read the fine print. I mean, who's reading the small print at the bottom of the box? Are they doing that intentionally? It certainly seems like it. And maybe this isn't Walmart. This is a brand that they are selling. But in my day job, we have vendors who do very important work for us, for our customers. And if a part of the work that we do is wrong and it's our vendor's fault, we take the ownership. It's on us because we are selling the product to the customer. Walmart's selling it to us. So whatever brands they are selling, they are responsible for. So what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Would you think there are 25 cards in there? Because all of the comments under this video, almost all of them are from people who agree with her, were fooled by the same packaging or would be fooled by it.
So this is a quick story time, guys. How I was almost ripped off at Walmart for $1,968 and some change. The guy had me to swipe my card. I swiped my card. It declined. So he had me to swipe the card again. And it declined. He had me to swipe the card a third time. The card declined. So something told me to check my banking app that's on my phone to make sure everything was everything. I clicked on it. It showed 4 transactions within a few minutes apart.
So he goes on to say that he talked to a bunch of the employees at Walmart. They all told him to come back the next day for some reason. I don't know why they couldn't correct it right there, but they told him to come back the next day. He did. And then those same employees told him that they couldn't do anything. They couldn't help and he had to deal with it at his bank. So luckily, when he went to his bank, they believed him and they got rid of the 3 erroneous charges. So was this a one-off, or are they doing this in multiple locations? Have you guys heard of this happening at Walmart specifically? Let me know down in the comments. So I wanted to dive into how poorly Walmart treats their employees. First, a couple of examples. Walmart, I will never forgive you for firing my 68-year-old grandpa during the snowstorm after he called in sick one time. Another example, late night fines, but it's my sick grandpa working in Walmart during a snowstorm because his manager wouldn't let him call in sick. Now, each of these cases might have been one-offs, or the creator might have just made these things up just trying to get clicks, but let's look at some real examples, some real lawsuits that Walmart had to settle because they treated their employees very poorly. First one was a workplace harassment suit, not a criminal charge, but a court finding of liability for constructive dismissal and intentional infliction of mental suffering related to workplace misconduct. This was in Canada, and the general and punitive damages totaled around $310,000. Another one, wrongful termination, aggravated and punitive damages, unemployment law judgment finding Walmart liable for wrongful termination. It was reported in this case they paid about $500,000 in punitive, and there were other compensatory awards as well, meaning they paid even more than $500,000 for whatever it is that they did to this former employee. One more, and this one is huge: defamation, workplace termination. This was a civil defamation employment case. A California jury found Walmart liable for falsely accusing a truck driver of fraud. Walmart was ordered to pay nearly $35 million in compensatory and punitive damages to that truck driver who they were accusing of being a criminal. Now, I'm no lawyer, but this looks like a clear-cut case of the pot calling the kettle black. So let me know down in the comments, are you still using Walmart because they have the best prices? What are your thoughts? Do you think they are guilty of any of the things I have presented in this video? If you're not subscribed, I put out videos like this all the time, so just click that button. It only takes a second. I appreciate you watching. If you know anyone who would like this video, please share. If you liked it, I would appreciate a thumbs up. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.